Move over to our Sea Dragons here, who played in the North Division Championship in the XFL. They would drop that one against DC on April 30th on the road. They would lose that one 21-37. Our player of the game, quarterback Ben DiNucci, 31 completions, 295 passing yards, 3 passing touchdowns, no interceptions on the day, which if you've been following this team and us, you know that DiNucci and the team has struggled with turnovers. No interceptions on the day and 16 rushing yards. That last stat of the rushing yards kind of a negative, considering that he led the team in rushing yards. Seattle just they hardly ever ran the ball. And it was all pass. And DC was ready for that. DC brought a ton of pressure. Defensive coordinator Greg Williams, tons and tons of pressure, 0 blitzes, all kinds of pressure throughout the course of the game. Seattle just couldn't Seattle couldn't adjust to that. And another early problem in the first half for the Sea Dragons was too many drop passes. They had a ton of drop passes. They would make these great, spectacular catches and Ja'Cour Pearson had a great touchdown catch before the half. And they just dropped a bunch of easy ones. Jawan Green dropped a bunch of tough ones. It was tough weather over there with rain throughout the course of the game here and there. But, DC was able to adjust. Seattle had been struggling with running backs all season long. They didn't really give the ball to Phillip Lindsay very much. And again, Ben DiNucci, the leading rusher, with 16 rushing yards. That's bad. You've got to have more of a balanced offense there to an extent, I'd like to say. Excuse me. That might not be in June Jones's offense, but DC was able to make you one-dimensional, and you had to play catch-up as the defense wasn't able to hang around with the defenders and Jordan Te'amu, and the season ends in the North Division Championship. So it's a fun season. I mean, to see Seattle go on a 5-game winning streak, battle against this DC team, and should have won those first 2 games in the regular season, beat St. Louis in their stadium by a good margin. It was a fun season. It was fun to see the XFL. It'll be interesting to see what players will be back next season, which players will have a chance taken on them in the NFL. And maybe who just hangs it up, So they end the season in the regular season with a 7-3 record. They lose in the XFL North Division Championship. DC will go on to play Arlington in the XFL Championship. All in all, though, a fun season. So it's hard to necessarily get too down in the dumps about it. But we'll look at a season in review next week for our Sea Dragons to wrap up their season.